Hi everyone, this is Mansi from Mansi Makes, and today I'm sharing how I collage in my art journal. Collaging is not my strength per se, but in 2021 I am challenging myself to get over my fears and, just use whatever materials I have to make some new things. So here you see me working with alcohol inks and acrylic paints on my favorite supply, which is gel plate. And you might have seen lots of videos of how to use alcohol inks on gel plates. What I'm showing you here is fairly simple. It's just placing a print, the paper directly on the gel plate after applying alcohol inks and lifting a print. These flowers were die cut, and the other leaf kind of stencil you see was something that I just cut out of paper and created myself. So it's a very simple and quick way of making some prints where you just apply some alcohol inks on the gel plate, put your stencil or mask, and just pull a print right away. You can use acrylic paint as a layer to pull the print, or you can just pull the print right away as the alcohol ink is evaporating. The alcohol is evaporating from the gel plate. Next, I took out my art journal and I just started painting a background. For some reason, I was gravitating towards reds and pinks. I do remember being very, very upset when I started this art journal page. There was just a huge meltdown in the house, lots of tantrums going on, and I just took to my art journal because that is something that gives me peace and calms me down. So there was a lot of fury, anger, rage happening in the creation of this page when I first started out, and I think that is what you see being reflected in the colors I chose, and just how haphazard all of it became very, very fast. I was losing control of this spread. I obviously did not have a plan in mind before I opened that journal page and started collaging. I just knew I had created something, I wanted to use it, and I just kind of went for it. And then at this point, when I had all these flowers stuck and I used the stencils, and I had all of this red and pink, I could feel a shift in energy, and that's where you see the white come in and me trying to start making sense of this all. And where is this going? How do I bring it all together? There was a real struggle at this point in this journal, and I was just scrambling to figure out what to do. So I figured, I just write my feelings out and get it out of my system, and maybe that'll help with going forward. And it did. It really did. It was like a release. And then I just picked up this print that I had made earlier on Duralar, and I love Duralar film because it's like acetate, but it's stronger, and it's also transparent. So you could still see all the layers of flowers under that I had pasted but didn't really care for. And it just started coming together, just putting these, cutting out these Duralar sheets so you could still see all the texture under. You could still see all the fury, the anger, the resentment under all of that, and yet something beautiful was happening. And then I started writing about how I am transitioning my thinking from being furious to being grateful. And this particular act of painting the outline of that leaf just was so, so, so calming for me. Just the act of doing that, the brush strokes. And then I took the actual cutout that I had made that was now covered in all kinds of acrylic paints, and I stuck that on, and suddenly it was like a yin and yang that happened on that page. And then I started writing about how many things there are to be grateful for, the little things, the little moments that we tend to ignore or neglect and don't acknowledge during the course of our days. And it just turned the whole feeling of this page for me. And I don't know if it comes across to you, how this page kind of transformed from being full of chaos and just randomness to being something that was very calming and serene. And then I had this die cut of a leaf set aside from a very long time ago. And I decided that I wanted some white on there along with my writings to kind of balance the whole page out. And it also added another dimension, another layer to the piece. So you have the words kind of going behind that die cut, and then you have the Duralar piece with the gel plate print. Just a lot of texture, just a lot of layers. And then the word I kept going back to in my head was hope. hope for me that I can, transition and understand my emotions, channel them in my art, and get through whatever it is that is really frustrating in that moment in time. And hope, for just in general, just hope. Spring's eternal, right? So that's how this page came about. And so you can see how art journaling to me is a very therapeutic, very personal process. And that's why I encourage you to keep trying making art in your journal, because you don't even have to share it with anyone, but it allows this release of energy, this way of coping, so to speak. And it's so helpful in life. So I encourage you to go and explore, use some mixed media elements. I don't know anything about collaging, but still I went forward and did it, and I think it came together pretty okay. So I hope you'll try it. And again, thank you so much for watching my videos. I truly appreciate your listening to my rants, and I will see you all next time.